AI companions that have been rolled out by XAI and that are being used by small businesses and everyday users as companions they want to confide in. Listen, I think when we're thinking about the way we've been taught to think about the AI takeover over humanity by movies like The Terminator and whatnot has led us to believe that there's going to be a very visible, scary, giant thing or an army of giant robots, and that is going to be leading to the downfall of humanity. But that's not really how I expect things to play out. Even if AI is going to degrade what it means to be human, it's not going to happen in a very visible and tangible warlike fashion, right? I think there is a slow erosion of everything that makes us human because we're outsourcing all of these very human abilities to AI, right? I mean, it's obvious the way people have been using AI and how that's been leading to an erosion of our critical thinking. There's been multiple research studies that prove this. If you're a user of ChatGPT, if you're a heavy user of ChatGPT, your brain doesn't really fire the same way as it does for a non-ChatGPT user. And there's a very big reason for that, and it sort of hijacks what makes us really adaptable and intelligent creatures, right? The reason we don't go out hunting and gathering and learning how to wrestle wild animals or whatever the heck we were doing when we were cavemen and hunter-gatherers is because we learned how to use tools, stone tools, and that made hunting very easier, very energy efficient. And right now, the availability of these AI tools are making thinking very efficient. But the thinking is not happening inside your brain. You're not firing the neurons that make your different centers that synthesize information fire in synchrony. Instead, what's happening is we're asking a pretty poorly crafted question, let's be honest, right? If you were to just see your interactions with AI as a history of prompts you've fed it, you would look like a madman. You would look like somebody that has no logical reasoning faculties. But anyway, the responses we get back from AI are very well crafted. And we, at some level, think that we created this. And therefore, we're getting our jobs done. We're losing our abilities to think critically. But let's say that's a very intelligence-oriented activity, and that arguably maybe is not what makes us human. What makes us human is our ability to love, to form relationships, to form bonds, to be vulnerable, and all of those things. But right now, we are flocking to AI models in pursuit of companionship. Look, as if this wasn't bad enough, as if our ability to interact with other people wasn't bad enough. I mean, we had the pandemic, the generation that sort of experienced the pandemic during their formative years really suffer with social skills. There's extremely high levels of anxiety among people that haven't really been socialized in large crowded settings because of the pandemic. And even before then, I think men in general had lost the ability to talk to women, to approach women, because it was very risky behavior, right? People were afraid of being vulnerable. People were afraid of getting hurt. And now we have an outlet that lets us circumvent putting on dresses, coming up with a way to approach a person, coming up with a way to circumvent the social awkwardness of new encounters of people, coming up with a way to circumvent the risk and wearing your heart on your sleeves when you extend a bid of connection to a stranger. We have a way to completely circumvent that with these companions that Elon Musk has rolled out. And obviously a guy like Elon Musk doesn't realize the human skills that are being sacrificed in this process. I doubt he is pretty well gifted in any of those dimensions of human interaction and deep human connection and exercising these human skills. So let's talk about these two companions. There's Ani and I think there's Bad Rudi. Ani is basically an AI model that is jailbroken like Grok. You can get her to say a lot of explicit things. You can get very naughty and flirtatious with her. But you have to prove that you're leveling up that relationship with her. You can't get flirty with her from the get-go, because if that was the case, this would have been a very simple gimmick. There would have been no relationship building, no risk-taking, no coming up with a bid to get more out of her, right? This truly does take a stab at replacing the risks and the relationship building that people normally put themselves in the way of emotional fire for. And it's scary. It's really, it really, really is scary, right? And I think if so, you can talk to Ani in a way that will also get her to do. And remember, Ani is a goth girl 3D avatar. So it's not just a voice mode chat. It's not just a text-based chat. It's chatting with the 3D avatar that will do explicit actions for you. And there was a bit of controversy where you could get, there was a kids mode and you can get her to be explicit even in kids mode. Listen, anything that's been rolled out with Elon Musk has never been free of bugs and has never been a clean rollout. So I'm not really surprised by that. And I hope that, the team at XAI is working to fix that, to tie that up. But, yeah, and there's this other character which I don't think is as problematic. Bad Rudi is just supposed to be somebody who's like very politically, uncensored, and you can get it to issue threats to you and speak to you in a very rude and irreverent manner. So that's all fine. I think the other avatar's fine. I don't know if it's trying to replace your ragtag bunch of friends or whatnot, but I don't really think that's problematic. What I do think is problematic is us being super comfortable with offloading and outsourcing every single human skill and capability to AI. We're going to forget how to use these skills. We're going to forget how to exercise these capabilities. Vulnerability, true vulnerability, making a bid for a relationship, making a bid that we expect and hope is going to be reciprocated by another person is already a very scary endeavor. But the reason we do it is because there is that hope of a serotonin boost or a dopamine boost when probabilistically the other person responds back with a similar bid or responds to our bid. The hope that there is going to be a reciprocation is what gets us to do it. But if that dopamine fill, if that dopamine fix is now met by these 3D avatars, then we have no reason to put ourselves in the line of fire. We're going to forget how to do this. We're going to forget how to be human. I don't mind that we're going to forget how to do calculus or how to write or know how to write the code. Most of us don't enjoy how to do those things anyway. So I don't really mind that these AI models are getting better and smarter and we're able to offset a lot of these, albeit, critical thinking involved activities to AI, offload a lot of these activities to AI, because a lot of us just do it because, it helps us make a living. A lot of us do it because it gives us maybe a sense of purpose and stuff. But I think there's a slippery slope where we're also offloading a lot of the things that make us AI, or make us, Freudian slip, that make us human, right? Just something to think about. I don't think that hope is lost, but we really need to develop a bit of self-awareness. We really need to develop an awareness for what it is that we're giving up and what that's going to mean to us. And we're going to have to get comfortable with unpredictable situations. We're going to have to get comfortable with taking risks. We're going to have to get comfortable again with making bids for social connection, no matter how vulnerable that makes us feel, because it's extremely important for us to preserve our humanity. So yeah, kind of a depressing note to end on, but that's it.